Hey guys, we're looking at 1.1a for our Integrated Math 1B course. This is lesson 1 of 2 for 1.1a. So on your Amplify Desmos, you've got a warm-up here, and I want you to try on your own to find the slope. Bonus points if we can remember how to write the equation of this line, but it's okay if you're not sure. Also, this is a recording, so you can't private message me in Engagely. But on your Desmos, start by trying to find the slope. So go ahead and pause here. Try that on your own, and then we'll go over it in just a moment. All right, so assuming you have tried this on your own, you're ready to check your answer, we're gonna go ahead and review. So this lesson for today is all recapping Integrated Math 1A. So from Unit 1 in Integrated Math 1A. So from last trimester's course, just recapping graphing linear equations is today's lesson. So starting with slope, what do we know about slope? Remember, anything that's being written here, you're copying on your end in Desmos, Desmos. Slope is rise over run. So go ahead and write that down on your end in Amplify. Rise over run. What is that going to look like? We're going to rise 1, 2, 3 values, and then we're running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Rising 3, running 6. So plugging that in, rising 3, running 6, we can simplify. We can factor out a 3. They're both divisible by 3, so that would leave us with 1/2. So for every one value we rise, we're running 2. We can see that that pattern is showing up here. We're rising 1, running 2. Something else about this would be a positive slope because we do read our graphs, remember, from left to right. Just like if this was a sing-along, we're not going to make a sing-along, but if it was, right, if we're reading this, warm up, find the slope, right? Have you seen like Disney sing-alongs? Okay, if not, it's fine. But just like you're reading a sentence, in case you've not ever experienced a sing-along, just that's the same way as reading a graph, just like reading a sentence from left to right. So we start on the left side and we can see our graph is increasing, it's going up, so this is a positive slope. We're not going to make it a negative. It's going to remain positive, and then we would box. That would be our final answer. And if you do need to pause the video to get caught up on your slide showing this work, all good, do that. All right, next. Which of these slopes is negative? I did actually kind of give you the answer a little bit for this of how to identify this. That's my bad, but it's okay. Which one is negative? You're going to select. I won't go over the answer for this one. I want you to put it in on your Desmos. Is it option A or B? Which one is negative? If you're not sure how to read a graph, skim back in this video. I just said it. All right, and then when you're done with that, click next. We're on slide 4. This is a recap from our notes in Math 148A. Again, this is a recording, so we can't add this to our Engagely with the Note Camera React. It's okay. Next time I see you guys, we will add this to our Engagely notes. This is just a recap of different types of slopes. And again, we're going to add on here that we read graphs from left to right. We read graphs going from the left to the right. Let me make that an arrow. Bam. Left to right. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this one is positive. It's increasing. Negative, decreasing. Remember, a slope of 0. Slope is also known as rate of change. There is no change, so it is slope of 0. Undefined is when we have a vertical line. This is our formula if we're given 2 coordinates and asked to find the slope. For our class, mostly, we've just been doing rise over run, those bunny hops. All right. Slope intercept form. Again, this whole lesson should be a refresher on this. If we were in class, I'd ask you, do you know what it is? Maybe you already know. You can fill it in on your Desmos. So a linear equation is written in the form, we're going to plug it in twice. I'm just going to do it. We're just going to do it down here. So y equals, and then make sure the m lines up with slope, mx plus b. So m is our slope, b is our y-intercept. So whenever we're talking about slope-intercept form, which we will be talking about throughout this entire unit, slope-intercept form, we're talking about y equals mx plus b. All right, here we've got intercepts. So the x-intercept, remember, if something is being intercepted, it's crossing over. So the x-intercept is where our line, our function is going to cross over the x-axis that's down here. The y-intercept, which is known as our b value, is where it crosses, it intercepts the y-axis. Those of you that had me in last trimester's class, you know we talk about the y-intercept by saying bananas are yellow. I'm going to put that in. B-A-N-A-N-A-S are yellow. Make sure you have that on slide 6. Type it out. Bananas are yellow. And I want you to highlight that y-axis. Why are bananas yellow? What's going on here? This is just to help us remember. B stands for bananas. Y for the y-axis, y-intercept. So where does that go? Y-intercept. Okay. B, bananas are yellow. To help us remember. Something, while you're adding that to your notes, something else about y-intercepts is the opposite value is 0. So the y-intercept, whatever the y value is, x is always 0. For the x-intercept, it's the reverse. Whatever x is, y is always 0. Okay, again, if I'm going too fast, pause, because this is a recording. Slide 7, let me know, how do you feel? How are you feeling right now about slope-intercept form, about this review? Circle your answer on slide 7. All right, slide 8, I want you to try this on your own. Identify the slope and the y-intercept of the graph. This is not a graph. Identify the slope and the y-intercept of these two equations. Pause this video, try this on your own, and then we will go over it in just a moment. All right, assuming you have paused the video, you have your work ready, you are ready to now check your answer. Let's see. So what did we just learn? We just learned y equals mx plus b. Just to be extra fancy, you guys know I love color coding. So I'm going to say m for slope is blue. Bananas are always yellow for b. And then we can just go ahead and highlight that here to color code. That's fine. The -4, if you wanted to label it, that's fine. -4, this is our slope. The -2, this is the y-intercept. Y-intercept. All right, for this one, we might notice it is not in the form y equals mx plus b, because y equals mx plus b, you might have noticed y is isolated. It is by itself. And in this equation down here for part B, y is not by itself, so we need to make it isolated by itself. Maybe it has COVID. We want to quarantine it. I don't know. However you want to think about this. We need to get rid of this -5 that is preventing it from needing some alone time. So we're going to go ahead and add 5 to both sides of our equation. Those cancel. We'll have y equals 3/2 x plus 5. Again, color coding. Remember, slope is always the coefficient. It's the number right in front of x. So that's another way we can more easily identify it. And b, the y-intercept, is always the constant at the end of our equation. So always looking for the constant for our y-intercept. All right, I had a brain break here, so if you need a break, pause this video, take a little rest. Slide 10, we're gonna go ahead and review this one together of how to put these pieces together and actually graph a line. So we're gonna start by identifying what's m and b. We also need to identify the y-intercept. Part of what they're asking us to do is graph and also find that, x-intercept. It says x-intercept. All right, so we're gonna start with m. Here is m, b, there's b. And we're gonna go ahead and write that in. M is -3, b is +3. All right, and now how do we take this information and actually graph it? So recapping our steps from, again, last trimester's class. First step to graph is identify m and b. Look at us, we're rock stars, we got it. Step 2 is to graph y-intercept. Graph that y-intercept, because remember, it is our freebie point. This is our freebie point. You know what? I'm going to leave it like that, all those E's. Freebie point. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight, use that line tool in your Desmos, Amplify, whatever we want to call it now. Use that line tool. You're going to drag and drop. And let's see here when y is 3. So positive 3, that's between 2 and 4. Bam. That's our freebie point. When we're graphing a line, we really just need 2 points to connect the dots and make a line. So we're already halfway there, guys. Halfway there. We've got our freebie point. Now what do we do? How do we get to that next point so we can connect those dots literally and make a line? So we've got the y-intercept. What other information did they give us? The only other thing we identified was slope, so maybe it has something to do with slope. We're going to use slope. Slope, which again is rise over run, to graph next point. And then step 4 is connect dots. Connect some dots. All right. So what we're going to do is right next to slope, we're going to remember rise over run. And I do want you guys to do this next to your slope every time. Yep. Rise over run, we'll notice, is a fraction. This is not a fraction. This is a whole number. Can we make this into a fraction? Yes, we can. We can set the denominator to be 1. So we're going to rise -3. So rise is going up or down. If we're rising a negative amount, we're probably going to go down, right? And then running always to the right. So we're going to, from this point, we're going to go down 3. 1, 2, 3. And then to the right 1. We can continue this pattern indefinitely. Go down 1, 2, 3, to the right 1. We could even go backwards. We can go up 3 and then to the left 1. You'll notice we're just making a line. We're going to go ahead in our last step, use that line tool in Desmos, and we're going to connect our dots. I do ask that you add arrows, because if we do not have arrows, it is no longer a line. It's a line segment, and we're graphing linear equations. We're graphing lines, so they need to have those arrows on both sides to show us that it's going on indefinitely in both directions. So connect dots and add arrows. Again, this is a recording, so if I'm going too fast, pause. If you don't have this on your Desmos, pause, fix your Desmos, copy this down. We're going to keep rolling because this is a recording and we can do that. All right, this next one on your own, try this on your own. I'm not going to go over it. Try this on your own. Give it a shot, following those same steps. And then you've got your exit ticket. You're answering here in Amplify something that you learned and maybe a question that you still have. And that's the end of this video. If you have any questions, let me know. Please remember your IXL homework, right? Just like you wouldn't want to brush your teeth once a week or once a month. That'd be really gross, right? If we're building practice, right? Or even like if you like going to the gym, right? If you've got some goals for working out, for getting stronger, you don't want to go to the gym just like every once in a while, right? You want to be consistent. That's the big idea, is being consistent, doing a little bit over time. If you brush your teeth twice a day, that's a little bit over time. It can help, right? Turn it around, turn your oral health around. So IXL homework, you're doing a little bit every day. Remember, about like 2 or 3 questions. That's fine. You don't have to do the whole topic. Just do a little bit every day to help build your practice outside of our class. And if you have any questions, Canvas inbox. And that's all. Bye, everyone.